So Bria Hartley is driving in. Sophie Cunningham, or Kelsey Mitchell comes down. Sophie Cunningham overhelps. And Bria Hartley just kind of plows through her leg by the looks of things. She kind of plows through the knee. And Sophie's holding like her patella.
Sophie Cunningham. Oh, man. I got to tell you. This victory, it came with a big price. Bria Hartley, let me just start there because we've got Sophie Cunningham's sister and mother weighing in on the league, and Bria Hartley right here. This is Hartley right here coming in.
To slide over right there, and Hartley just kind of falls
and she crushes in on the knee of Sophie right here.
She went down hard.
And that was it.
Breaking news. The injuries piling up aren't just bad luck, fans are convinced. There's a hidden agenda against the WNBA's biggest star. Something isn't right. No other team has suffered this many coincidental setbacks, and if they had, it would have triggered a full-scale investigation. So why is the league acting like it wants to take down its brightest attraction? Fans are outraged. Boycott calls are getting louder. And this controversy threatens to rip apart the future of women's basketball. Don't blink because what's unfolding now could end the sport's greatest phenomenon before it even reaches its peak.
As an Indiana Fever fan, this absolutely sucks. I mean, first we lose CC. We don't know when she's coming back, if she's coming back. And now this happens to Sophie Cunningham. Are we just cursed?
This is the play that just occurred.
That's like she tries to slide over right there, and Hartley just kind of falls and makes collision with that lower leg. You see her immediately grab it.
How many stars have to fall before we admit this is more than bad luck, it's dangerous? Caitlin Clark has now missed 12 straight games with a groin injury. That mysteriously reappears every time she tries to return. Ari McDonald is out for the season with a broken bone in her foot, and Sydney Carlson done for the year with a torn ACL. 3 key players, 3 crushing blows, and fans are no longer buying the coincidence excuse.
It looked bad. She's going to be done for the year. I don't know how much longer the Indiana Fever can continue to survive with these injuries. I just have to be honest. I got to be real. We lost Sydney Colston to a torn ACL. Ari McDonald, broken bone in her foot. Caitlin Clark has played like 12 games all year or something like that. DeWanna Bonner scammed us. I mean, it's been a complete shit show, to say the least. It's been a shit show. I just gotta be honest.
This isn't bad luck anymore. It's a full-blown crisis the WNBA can't afford to ignore. 4 key players from the same team are now sidelined. 4. Most teams might lose 1 starter in an entire season if they're unlucky, but the Indiana Fever are dropping players one after another, like some twisted elimination game. And the league, acting like it's business as usual. Fans aren't fooled, and their outrage is growing louder by the day.
I mean, immediately in the game, the refs was just on some ish, bro. Just on something, and y'all know what I always say, man. What if Sophie or somebody was your aunt, your niece, your daughter? You know, you got to put yourself in reality, you know, because she is somebody's daughter, she is somebody's sister, and this is just unfortunate. And those of you who don't think a civil rights investigation need to be brought upon this league is tripping. This civil rights investigation,
when the league's biggest draw has to scrape the bottom just to survive, something is deeply wrong. The WNBA's solution? Signing Odyssey Sims to a hardship contract because the Fever don't even have enough healthy guards to field a roster. Think about that. The most popular team in women's basketball history is scrambling for emergency players just to put 5 on the floor. This isn't random misfortune. It looks like the deliberate dismantling of the league's golden goose, and fans are demanding answers.
Him lying down, clearly in pain, visible pain, agony, pain, stays down. Gotta cut to commercial. The medical staff comes around her. She looks like she walked off on her own accord, but it looked like she walked off in pain on her own accord. Out for the rest of the game. Only played 10 minutes. And that's where Lexi Holt needed to step up, and step up she did. Step up.
Sophie's sister Lindsay and her mom Paula. At WNBA, maybe you should focus less on fining players for commenting on your poor officiating and more about hiring officials that are able to call a consistent game, protect your athletes. pathetic. Praying for you, Sophie Cunningham. Yeah, officially my two favorite players in this league that I really love to, particularly love to pull for, they're both out now. And it did not look good. No word on that, by the way.
When players' families start speaking out, the danger has already gone far beyond the court. Pathetic, that's the only word for what's happening now. Sophie Cunningham has been fined 4 times this season for calling out referee incompetence. And today, she's the one sidelined on a trainer's table because those same refs failed to protect her from reckless, dangerous plays. The irony would almost be laughable if it weren't so infuriating. Even her mother, Paula Cunningham, blasted Hartley before deleting her comments. When families accuse opponents of deliberately endangering players, it's more than frustration, it's a warning. The league can't keep writing fines while ignoring the real issue, player safety.
Cunningham is down. My goodness.
You can literally hear her screaming in pain. It's so heartbreaking. Indiana Fever star guard Sophie Cunningham, the enforcer, had a lower leg injury today against the Connecticut.
When the league's biggest star spends more time in the trainer's room than on the court, something is seriously broken. Caitlin Clark has already missed 19 of Indiana's 30 games this season. 19, the same player who brought millions of fans and billions in revenue to the WNBA has been sidelined more than she's played. And we're supposed to believe that's coincidence. Her injury history is alarming. 3 weeks with a left quad strain, 2 weeks with a left groin issue, and now a right groin injury keeping her out for over a month. These aren't random tweaks or conditioning problems. They're the direct result of constant physical punishment from opponents, who seem to make targeting her their entire game plan. Even former Iowa coach Lisa Bluter admitted the scouting report is clear. Stop Clark. And do it physically, but there's a line between tough defense and outright abuse. And when Coach Stephanie White warns that the level of physicality is unlike anything seen in years, that's not coach speak, it's a red flag. That the league is allowing things to spiral into dangerous territory.
Damn lawsuit. It is Sophie as well. It's Sophie as well. Just the amount of calls, the way she's been treated. Watch this. I mean, just immediately. First, look at this. Instantly into the game. Instantly. Immediately, Sophie got hammered. They had a target to hurt Sophie. She was targeted by this team for a reason. They wanted to hurt Sophie. They made it their business to hurt Sophie.
The real scandal isn't the injuries, it's the way the WNBA punishes those who dare to tell the truth. The clearest proof of the league's agenda isn't in injury reports or game footage, it's in how it age. Annals criticism. Sophie Cunningham spoke up about officiating and got fined $500, then $1,500, then more. Coach Stephanie White raised concerns about player safety and was sanctioned too. But when referees let flagrant fouls slide, when stars are battered with no consequences, when the game turns dangerous, the league stays silent. Christine Brennan of USA Today nailed it after one brutal non-call. The WNBA failed to rise to the occasion. At the very moment the league is seeing record viewership and national attention, officials are allowed to turn games into demolition derbies. Head of officiating Monty McCutcheon insists referees are held accountable. But where's the accountability when Caitlin Clark is shoved to the floor and it's called a common foul? Where's the accountability when Sophie Cunningham is taken out by a fall that looked anything but accidental? Fans aren't blind and the outrage is only getting louder.
I told y'all Bria Hartley is a dirty player. She's no different than Dejanay Carrington. It just doesn't get as much publicity because the Connecticut Sun stink. Point blank, period. She's reckless. She injured Sophie Cunningham. It is a travesty. Stephanie White, you better go and you need to be buying Kelsey Mitchell food all week. You need to send her a personal masseuse because she saved your job tonight. Your ass should have been fired if y'all had lost today. Point blank and period. You was horrible. Bro, before you could sneeze, achoo, we was down by 10 plus.
The standings don't lie and the numbers expose a pattern the WNBA doesn't want you to notice. Indiana's playoff odds have crashed from 99% to just 87.1% as injuries pile up. They've dropped from 6th to 7th in the standings, with the Seattle Storm and Los Angeles Sparks only a game or so behind. Coincidence or exactly what the league wanted? From the WNBA's point of view, Clark and the Fever brought record-breaking attention, but they also exposed how far behind the rest of the league looked. Fans tuning in saw blowouts and highlight reels that made other teams seem second-rate. To fix it, the simplest move was to chip away at Indiana's biggest advantage, their stars. ESPN's Basketball Power Index still gives the Fever an 87.1% playoff chance. But that number shrinks every game Clark stays sidelined, with just 10 games left. Indiana is running out of time. This injury crisis could wipe out everything they've worked for.
There's only 13 teams in the WNBA. 8 of them go to the playoffs. Not 6, not 4, 8. Over 50% of them go to the playoffs. So when you are supposed to win games that you're supposed to win, you're supposed to just take care of business. I don't care if they lost Caitlin Clark. They still have Kelsey Mitchell. They have Aaliyah Boston. Sophie Cunningham, hope she feels better. Lexi Hall. They have talent on this team. They have enough.
Follow the timeline once you see the pattern. Ignoring it is impossible. Early in the season, Caitlin Clark goes down with a left quad strain and is sidelined for weeks. The Fever stumble but stay competitive. Mid-season, she returns at an elite level, only to suffer a left groin injury, more missed time, but the team adapts. In July, Clark comes back stronger than ever. Drops 30 points against the defending champion New York Liberty, and in the next game against Connecticut, she re-injures her groin. She hasn't played since August. With Clark out, Indiana starts losing to teams they should easily beat. Then, in the same game against Phoenix, Ari McDonald and Sydney Cowson both suffer season-ending injuries. Now Sophie Cunningham is added to the casualty list for separate injury incidents for core players gone. And all of it happening to the team built to dominate the league and lift women's basketball to new heights. At what point do we stop calling this bad luck and start calling it what it truly is? Systematic targeting of the WNBA's most valuable franchise.
No idea when Caitlin Clark is coming back or if she is coming back at all. Every time that they get asked, they just say TBD. We have no idea what's going on, which is, in my opinion, quite suspicious. You kind of know what is going to happen with an injury. The doctors can give you an estimate. The player can tell you, you know what, I'm not really feeling that great. I don't expect to be coming back. But she has been practicing with the team. Maybe she's going to come back for the playoffs and help them get that championship, or at least try to get the champ.
When fans start paying players fines, it's not rebellion, it's proof the league has lost control. Lindsey Cunningham's social media post wasn't just venting. It was a direct indictment of the WNBA's broken priorities. Instead of hiring officials who can call a fair, consistent game and protect athletes, the league spends its energy punishing players for speaking the truth. Sophie Cunningham has been fined multiple times this season, even for a TikTok video where she called referees useless after watching them allow dangerous plays to go unchecked. But here's the twist, each fine only strengthened fan support. GoFundMe campaigns covered her penalties in hours. Petitions demanding referee accountability gathered thousands of signatures overnight. And the league's response, more fines, more sanctions, more attempts to silence the truth. When Lindsey Cunningham calls the league's priorities pathetic, she's speaking about more than one play or game. She's exposing a systemic failure. A league that punishes truth tellers rather than fixing the issues threatening the very athletes who are driving its historic success.
Sophie's mother, Paula Hartley, is a disgruntled player having trouble everywhere she goes. She's playing mean and plays out of control. So, what can you say? I do not blame Sophie's mother and sister for being upset. Marina Mabrey went nuts in this game, scored 20.
The injury to Sophie Cunningham isn't just a setback. It's proof the WNBA has lost control of its own game. This isn't another routine injury. Candace Parker once said generational talents face physical play, but what the Indiana Fever are enduring goes far beyond normal competition. This is a league treating its biggest stars as threats rather than assets to protect. Officials turn a blind eye as some teams get mauled while others are shielded. And the front office focus more on optics than on real growth. But here's the twist, the fans Social media is exploding, with hashtags supporting Sophie Cunningham and demanding accountability. Clips of missed calls and reckless fouls are spreading faster than the league can spin the narrative. Even former coaches and players are speaking out about blatant officiating bias. The irony is striking. Sophie Cunningham was fined $1,500 for criticizing referee incompetence, and now, that same incompetence has caused her injury, proving her point more powerfully than any argument ever could.